Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming today. We're at the Manchester Firing Line in Manchester, New Hampshire. This is New England Alive, brought to you by the Outlaw Brewing Company of Winchester, New Hampshire. Welcome, everybody. Jake, Terry Ann, what do you think? This is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, this is crazy. This is a mobile recording studio at its best.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for inviting us.
No worries.
Very exciting.
Yeah, this is a great place to do a podcast. I mean, who doesn't like guns and ammo and, a lot of other stuff? Tell me about the Manchester Firing Line. What are you guys all about?
Well, first and foremost, we're a gun range. We're an indoor shooting range, 14 lanes, climate controlled. It's we have members and non-member availability, first come, first serve. It's a public indoor shooting range. If you've got a valid driver's license and you're allowed to be around firearms, you can come here and shoot.
Really?
Yeah.
So me not having a license or anything, I can come here under the instruction of you guys and go in the range and shoot any gun I want.
Yeah, we've got walk-in instructors available, just teaching the basic rules of safety, how to handle yourself on a firing line and being safe.
Wow.
And we have over 100 different handguns to rent, all the new and cool stuff. We've got 20 some odd long guns to rent as well. And we've got about 8 or 9 machine guns running at any given time. So I've got belt-fed autos, I've got Thompson submachine guns, Uzis, grease guns, Sterling. I've got a P90 that runs if we can find the ammo.
So basically, if you've seen that kind of a weapon in a movie, I mean, chances are you probably have it. And they could come down here and fire it.
If Terry Ann lets me buy it, I can have it. Yeah,
that's always the case, right? We always want more toys as men, right?
That's it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Terry Ann has some toys of her own. I mean, last time I was in here and we were talking, you were talking about accessorizing some weapons.
My guns are usually Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, birthday gifts. They're usually snakeskin or Tiffany blue or hot pink.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's really exciting actually to get a gift.
That's cool. So, I mean, in addition to the firing range, what other types of services do you guys offer here?
Well, I think it's important to say that in addition to the walk-in instruction, we have classes for everybody.
Oh, okay.
All the way from, we have an amazing youth instructor who begins the class at age 11 years old, and we go all the way up to tactical training with our master instructor. So I think it's important to say that we have something for everyone at every level.
That's amazing. I mean, if you want to get your children, accustomed to weaponry, because maybe the families, they're hunters, right? They could bring their child here and have some instruction and learn how to use the weapon and do all that good stuff.
It's very important because the way that we grew up was completely opposite. Completely opposite.
Yeah. So I grew up out on the West Coast, eastern Washington, wide open desert forests, in the middle of an orchard. And so I learned how to use the tool, the firearm, as a tool, just like we did as a hammer, Right. And I was taught at a very young age to respect the firearm and the do's and don'ts of firearms. And
sure.
I started at around age 5, and then progressed through that. I joined the military, and I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years. I did tanks in the Marines, so I had played with a lot of big guns there, and then was able to carry that on to my career, which is not common. You're not really able to bring that stuff out of the military, but I was able to stick into the firearms. And then when I met Terry Ann, she was wondering why I had all these guns stuffed under my bed, and
yeah, absolutely,
it's because I couldn't afford a safe.
Completely opposite upbringings and backgrounds. He met a city girl, and the city girl met a Marine, and I said to him, absolutely no way are all those guns coming in my house. Absolutely no way. And now we own a gun range, so you can see who won that fight.
It's amazing how things happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the amazing thing was that we really saw from those two different upbringings the eyes of the other. And that's so important. And I think that taking for our children, we've decided to make sure that we've taken away that element of curiosity.
Right.
We've taken that away, and we've inserted safety and responsibility.
That's great.
And shown them from an early age. Well, he took them from an early age, and then we carry that over into our business. We think it's super important.
So when did Manchester Firing Line? When was it born?
Well, so there's a lot of history here at Manchester Firing Line. So I believe Manchester Firing Line was the first indoor shooting range in New Hampshire back in the 80s. It was called Wolf's Indoor Range, and not in this particular location. It's moved once, and it's literally right across the street is the old range. And so we're the third owners of Manchester Firing Line. We took it over in 2016, April of 2016, and we've been growing ever since. So I've been fortunate enough to be in this industry since 2000 is when I started in the industry. Working as a sales rep for a small wholesale distribution company in Massachusetts, and was able to network with other dealers around the nation and learn and absorb the knowledge that they would give me over the phone, and just witnessing the successes and the failures of their business, and bringing that into our own business, and trying to learn from other people's travels and what to do and what not to do.
Yep.
So we're continuing on that and building on that experience.
Yeah. So I think there's something else interesting happening here. I mean, the elephant in the room is you guys are married. You're a married couple. You own a business together. I mean, let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah,
that's unique,
fun.
right?
That's fun. It's such a blessing to be able to work with her every day. And I know people are probably rolling their eyes like, oh my God, he's got to say that. No, it's really, you know what I mean? It's
no, you don't have to say
it. I don't have to say that, but no, it was, we didn't walk into this knowing exactly on how it was going to go, but we've been a team. We were a team before owning the business together. We have 6 children, so we've been able to, use that skill of being able to communicate with each other, which is really the most important thing, is being able to communicate and knowing each other the way we do is okay, we got to navigate this rough patch here, and we got to do this and communicate, and the end goal is the success of our marriage, number one, our family, and the business kind of tails along with that.
Well, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, from the standpoint that, you have 6 kids, you own a business together, you guys work together every day, right? So, if the kids need to be picked up from school, Jay can leave and you can run the shop, or vice versa, right?
Exactly.
And you guys are not only financially vested in the business, but you're a partner in the business together. So does that work really well? It sounds like it does.
We are all in.
Okay. That's cool.
100%. It's not 50-50.
Right.
It's 100%.
Yeah.
All the time, at all times. And we have to be flexible all the time because of those, especially during this time of COVID, things change quick. Things change. Things change at school, things change at home. And we still have, most of our kids are grown up at this point, but we still have 2 at home that are in school. So, that kind of what you just said, navigating, he was dropping one off today, and sometimes I say, you're picking him up at school today, right? And he says yes, and I look on my camera and I see he's got a customer. He's got his jacket on. He's walking out the door, but now he's got a customer, and I get up and I go, and we just make it work. It just has to work. It has to work. It's 100%. We're committed to that.
100%. Yeah, it can be challenging at times. If something's not going the way it's supposed to go. And if we always keep in mind that our number one goal is us, and it's in that challenge that challenge is easily overcome.
So do you each have a different role in the business? Does one person have more strength at something than the other? What do you want to talk to that at all?
I think that
I find this really interesting.
Yeah, no, I think that the most important thing to the company, when we first did this, he had the background in guns, as you know. He had the military background, and I had a business background. I didn't have that. And he asked me to come into this company with him and be partners.
I was like, no, you really have to come here. I cannot do this without
I need accounting.
Exactly. And all the administrative, the unsung hero that does the back stuff. And my first thought was, what am I going to bring? What can I bring to this firearm enthusiast industry? And the greatest thing Jake ever said was, when in doubt, be yourself. He said, when in doubt, be yourself. And he said, just bring you and bring what you have. And so I came in with all these crazy ideas about community events. And, I grew up having every Monday night there was a car show. And I said, if I ever own my own company, I really want to have that was such a community event, such a memory growing up. I want to do that. And breast cancer was something that hit our family hard. His mother and my mother both had breast cancer. one survived and one didn't. Look, don't, I'm going to cry. So one survived and one didn't, and I said, if I ever own a company, breast cancer awareness is going to be something that I really promote. And I said this all to him. I said, well, this is what I would do. This is what I would do. It's nothing to do with guns. And he said, yes, bring it. Bring the family. Bring the atmosphere. Bring the eyes of the new shooter.
Right.
Bring what they need. Bring the families, everything to us. And no matter who you are, whether you're into guns, whether you're not, whether you're, whatever your background is, we can all speak to that same family community.
Right.
We can speak to that together.
So I have a question for you regarding the family. I've had the opportunity to work with both of you for several years now, and there's definitely a family vibe in this store, which might seem a little contradictory to some people that here you are walking into a gun store and a gun range, but your employees are like family, and some of them actually are
Some of them
family,
actually
right?
are family.
So
And
how
that's
did you
Kendall, by
create
the
that
way.
environment?
Yeah, we it's like a family because we have family working for us.
literally have
We have so my one of my sons works here as a supervisor, and he started scrubbing the bathrooms when we first started. I actually probably kill me for saying this. I actually fired him once.
He was fired a long time ago.
He was fired a long time
Before he
ago.
went into the military.
Yeah, before he went into the military. When he got back from the military, he was rehired and started on a fresh slate. And we have her cousin actually works here as well, and the rest of the staff,
Future daughter-in-law?
yeah,
Yes.
future daughter-in-law,
Which actually wasn't family when she started working here,
Right.
and now she's going to become our daughter. So I think that a lot of people have said to us, well, "You're crazy. You're hiring family. What are you thinking? What are you
Oh
thinking?"
yeah, my
Absolutely.
mentor in business, his number one rule is stay away from family.
And we've been very blessed, and I think that part of it is that we know our role. When we're at work, we're your boss, and this is what we expect. And when we're out of here, I'm mom and dad. I'm my cousin's cousin. I'm the mother-in-law, soon to be. It's separated,
Right.
but we expect the same from them.
Well, I would say too from that standpoint. I mean, let's be honest. This is kind of a lifestyle job in a way, right? I mean, yeah, you own a business and you come here and you have employees and payroll and insurance and all that stuff, but it's something that you love to do, right? I mean, would you do anything different after doing this?
I don't know what I would
We
do.
would
after
always
I
work
did it.
together.
I think, we would always work
We
together.
would
We're
always
spoiled
be-
rotten as far as working together. I
Right.
mean, it's again, I know the guys are going to be rolling their eyes. He's got to say this, but no, I like hanging out with her. I like being around her. It's probably some sort of,
She's your
we're
best-
not together. Yeah, she's my best friend by
Yeah.
far. You know, and when I need something, she's the first one I call.
Mm-hmm.
And we build each other up that way, and being able to work with each other on a daily basis, then separate work from home when we get home, and knowing what the right thing to talk about. And I just, okay, no one's in the mood to talk about work. It's a hard day today. Let's just talk about us. Let's talk about family.
I mean, that's such a hard thing for anybody to find. I mean, it's amazing, and I love it that you guys have that. And I see it every time. I've been here twice, and the first time was to have a meeting with you guys. You didn't know me, but I saw it. I could see the energy between you two, and it's awesome. And even sitting here with you guys, I mean, and this place is pretty awesome too. I mean,
That's great.
You look around here, and you guys have done an amazing job with this.
Yeah, but I think it's super important to say that for our non-family family that works here, this is a family to us. To us, we treat our staff, it's a different kind of family, but you spend so much time with the people that you work with, and we appreciate our staff. We've been there. We've had leaders, we've had bosses that you don't feel appreciated. You don't feel respected. And one thing that we know and we recognize early, we can't do it without them. We love them. We need them. Right. And to the same point that Jake did with me, built up my strengths. He let me be me. That's what we do with them. We say, you're bringing something to our table that we don't have, and you're better at it, and we're just going to let you shine. We're going to bring that out of you. And we want them to feel appreciated and feel like our family, because this is a little mini family.
Totally.
You know, and that's how we, you know, foster that culture.
You know, and a lot of them are veterans as well, correct?
Yes, actually, we just won an award for hiring veterans from the federal government.
It's a national award.
Award for employers employing veterans. As a veteran myself, you know, the transition period, getting out of the military and back into civilian life, it's rough, and it's and everybody has their own little journey with that, and different experiences, and we pride ourselves on being that spot that makes that transition just a little bit easier, because we have the culture here of I wouldn't say militaristic, but I would say it's
regimented to some.
It's the leadership style and being able to be around like-minded individuals helps that transition.
Sure.
And I remember when I got out and it was tough. You know, this guy come up and he was yelling at me about something, and I looked right at him and I said, "Man, I don't get paid to get yelled at anymore." You know,
I remember that too. Yeah,
you know, don't do that.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a different lifestyle in and out of the military. And here we've found and have been able to help several veterans make it a little easier for themselves to transition into the civilian lifestyle. And that's how the whole family atmosphere, the respect and the dignity that we allow them to keep. And a lot of people, when I know when they get out of the military, they feel like they don't belong anymore, you know, that team atmosphere. So we really foster a team atmosphere here where we're building each other up. We're teaching, you know, if there's a mistake that's made, it's a learning opportunity. And then we move forward from that.
Well, even the people that you have that work here are really well versed in the field. So you don't just have people coming in working an hourly job. You have retired law enforcement and military and people who have a lot of experience and respect for guns. And how does that kind of give you pride and put people who are new to shooting sort of at ease that you have such a dedicated, knowledgeable staff to help them?
Well, can I just say the first thing that I say to them when they get hired is, what I want is your grandmother to walk through that door and be comfortable. If your grandmother cannot walk through that door and be comfortable, we've got to work on this. I don't want them to be intimidated, because they can be. Mm-hmm. They can be. They've been taught to be intimidating. And we want to take all that they have, and add the customer service and the honesty and the integrity.
Just the welcoming, you know, when somebody walks in that
welcoming
door,
environment.
we have a rule, right? So 3 steps in the door, some sort of greeting, some sort of eye contact, like, hey, I got you. I know you're here. You know, we work on that. And you know, customer service, let's face it, customer service these days is a little hard to come by, right? I mean, it's, you know, it's more and more often, you know, we're consumers here. More and more often you walk in a place and like, wow. Yeah, I mean, I was just an experience the other day. I was like, I mean, good help is hard to find, you
Definitely.
know, and so we have training programs for our staff. It's like, listen, smile. You know, be engaging,
exactly.
You know, have fun. You know,
Right.
they're here to have, this is an entertainment venue. These people are here to have some fun, to learn something.
And you know, I spent my entire life in sales, selling things to people that didn't need them. It was a want. And we actually kind of go into that one of these podcasts. I was in the yacht business, right? Mm-hmm. But sales is so important to any operation, right? And just those words of acknowledgement when somebody walks through that door goes a long way, right?
Absolutely.
And I think those customers in turn, I mean, if you give them that great experience like I have every time I come here, I haven't even bought anything from you.
Right.
I mean, you must have customers that have been with you since day one. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Their
repeat
family
customers,
as well,
for
right?
sure, yeah.
And it's wonderful to hear them say, acknowledge the growth and acknowledge the changes and you know, confirm that what we're doing is on the right track. You know, they're saying they love the family atmosphere, they love what's happening, you know, and one thing about our staff is we look and hire people who love doing this, love teachers' hearts. They love it. They live for it. It's not something they're doing. It's who they are. You know,
Right.
we're trying to find more Jakes, More Jakes who lives for this, wakes up every day. It's not a job to him. And that's what we're looking for. And then we find them. I always tell people, they say, your staff seems so happy. They're so happy. They really are. It's true. They really are. They're happy. They're going about their day because they're really in a good mood and they're happy. Yeah. It's awesome. It's really awesome.
And you feed them.
Very blessed.
Yeah. And you feed them, but you empower them.
Feed them. She knows that. She's been here with food.
Yeah.
But you empower them to be better, though, too, right? You empower them to
grow.
take, right, exactly. So, man, yeah, I mean, it's amazing hearing this story. Kendall, do you have anything you want to add to this?
I do. So the whole point of meeting with you both today, well, part of the point was to celebrate Valentine's Day, power couple, work together, love each other, have family. So for Valentine's Day, something that I think would be, not a hint or anything, but if somebody wanted to get a nice Valentine's Day present for their significant other.
I think she's giving me a hint.
I see. So let's talk about Valentine's Day.
We'll talk about diamonds on guns.
We'll talk off.
I wanted to talk about what you do with the customization you do on guns here, because I think that is a really cool gift idea.
Well, let's talk about Valentine's Day in general. Valentine's Day and gifts and all of that, but Valentine's Day is a big deal in our home. And one of the things that when we came into this company, one of the things I told him is Valentine's Day is a big deal. I want to make it a big deal. It wasn't. We didn't have Valentine's Day wasn't really very busy that day. That was not our Father's Day or, and I told him I really want to have Valentine's Day be a big deal. Why not? It's so fun. It's so fun to go shooting. And so we started to do a Valentine's Day package, which now is huge. And we partner with Chunkies and we partner with Relax Throwing. And when they come in for a shooting lesson, whether they need a lesson or not, they can come in. It's a whole package. Come in just themselves with their driver's license, and they have a great time. And then they leave with another date, a second date.
Yeah, second date.
And in addition to that, to your point, gift giving, Jake, you want to let them know about Cerakoting and all?
Yeah, so I mean, the industry is people like me. I created this little corner laser engraving service. It's called Tattoos for Guns. The laser was added first, and then we can customize firearms, knives, lighters, flasks. I mean, anything that the laser can engrave, we can get it done. We've got huge talent behind that counter, graphic artist that she's just amazing with her skills and an artistic view of things. And then to capitalize on that, we just opened a Cerakote shop here in the range. So we're doing customized Cerakoting, which is a ceramic coating over a firearm. We can basically make your gun at any color, any design, multiple colors, layers of color, and then with the laser on top of that, it just takes it to the next level. Yeah. A lot of gun people are tattoo. A lot of tattoos in the industry. You see a lot of those tattoos and things like that. So we coined the phrase "tattoos for guns," and no, that's not. You can't bring your guns in and get a tattoo. It's actually
maybe that could be a good promo.
Yeah, right. You never know. It's laser engraving a firearm and calling it a tattoo. So, but it's definitely a unique niche business in this industry. There are other people out there that are doing this, but really nothing to this level that I've been able to find.
How much of your customer base is female? And what do you have specifically to cater to your female?
I would say that has grown exponentially.
I've got some numbers for that. Just yesterday I read that 2021 gun sales, 4.5 million new gun owners in 2021. It's a whole new generation of customers. And that you're not even talking about the numbers of 2020, but just in 2021, 4.5 million, 33% were female purchasers.
That's fantastic.
33%. And I'm not talking already gun owner, new female gun owners out of 4.5 million, 33%.
Have you seen an uptick in your business to the female population?
Oh yes. So when I first came in, there was a very small female presence here. Most of the time I was the only woman here. We didn't have any female employees yet. We had a ladies' night. That was really pretty much when you saw women. And that was something I wanted to change immediately. This is not just for men. This is for women. When the first thing that he wanted me to learn when I did start to understand firearms and respecting them and what they're for, was he wanted me to know so that when he's not here, I could still be protected. I could protect myself. It was for his peace of mind. You know, it wasn't even for me. He wanted peace of mind that I knew what I was going to do. And then the empowerment that comes with to learn how to protect yourself and to have that level of security on your own person is wonderful. It's amazing. And that was something that I wanted to, get the word out to more women that, even if you decide it's not for you, come in, find out, try it, get the education, see what it's all about, and find out if it's for you. Don't cross that off on your list without finding out how to protect yourself in the world that we live in today, too. Yeah. It's more important than ever. So we've hired women. We've listened to women. I've brought my own information on less intimidating man cave things. We brought the community events, and more our classes. Now you cannot be here. You cannot be in this building without women, customers, employees. There's women here all the time, 100% of the time.
That's great.
And just on that note, just talk to me a little bit. You told me about one of your instructors, nice older fellow who retired police officer.
Oh, yes. Oh,
teaches children.
Wonderful.
Because I know, there's a lot of, might be a controversial topic, but sure. I feel like if you can teach a child safety and how to respect a weapon, there's probably less likely of an incidence of an accident happening if the child can really know what the weapon's about and have respect for it and know how to use it. And what do you offer?
Well, we found the best of the best. Our youth instructor he was the chief of police of Stafford.
Yeah, he's retired chief of police.
He's a current police officer.
He's got children and grandchildren of his own. He's taught firearm safety. He's a prior service Marine as well. So I mean, he's got a lot of experience in the gun industry, and he has the biggest teacher's heart. I mean, he just loves to teach.
He encompasses everything that we're looking for. And he's just wonderful with the kid. He even said himself, he said, I don't know if these kids are going to take to me, but he's wonderful. The first thing he teaches is respect. This is not a toy. This is not a game. This is real. This is real grown-up stuff. But then he teaches them how to use it properly, and empowers them. The parents can go in the classroom and watch the class and enjoy the class with them. But he takes them on the range, and the parents can watch the reviewing area. So those children can get empowered. And this ranges from 11 years old to 17. It's very empowering for the kids to go out there with the instructor himself. And he is phenomenal. Highly recommend his youth class.
Awesome.
And just capitalizing on your comment there that taking that curiosity out of that item allows for a better outcome if, in fact, that person might come across, a firearm in their home or a friend's home or I mean, let's face it. I mean, you read the news just like everybody else. It happens. Kids find a firearm and something wrong happens. And I can attest to that. I had an experience when I was in the sixth or seventh grade. I went to a friend's house and I had firearms experience at that point. I was 11, 12 years old. I've been shooting for 4 or 5 years at that point. Been hunting and I had I knew what to do and what not to do with a firearm. And we went to my friend's house and knowing it was home, he says, hey, you want to see my dad's gun? I said, no. And he went and got it anyway. And he's literally twirling this revolver on his finger. And I'm like, hey, stop, that's loaded, He's like, oh, I was like, I'm leaving. I'm not going to be in here. It scared me because I saw, what my grandfather, my parents always said, what not to do.
Exactly. and you had the wherewithal at that young age.
At 11 years old, I was like, you can't do that. That's dangerous, and two 11-year-olds sitting there conversing about a firearm. And he went and put it back because I was getting upset. And I look back on that and think, wow, I'm so happy that I had that kind of experience to be able to get out of that and walk away from that.
To say to him, I'm not impressed.
Yeah, right. This is not cool, man.
Not cool.
So what advice would the two of you have for other couples looking to work together in business, successful marriage tips?
I think we have 3 rules. We have 3 rules. Not rules so much, but more guidelines. And the most important is what? Communication.
Communication.
It's everything. It's not important. It's everything. Communication is everything. You have to be able to communicate where you're at, and you have to be able to be listened to. You know, and that's at home, at work. I tell them, don't talk to me about home at work, because that's more time I have to be here. Talk to me about home at home, because then I can be at home faster, you know. So let's talk about work at work. Let's talk about home at home. I mean, you know, there are times where you have to intertwine, but pretty much for the most part, if it's something that can wait, we wait.
Also, the timing of communication. Timing is very important in communication.
The timing of communication.
This is my advice. This is my advice to other couples thinking about doing this. You know, set a time to where conversation's appropriate. So in my house, pretty much before 10 a.m., we're not really talking about stressful things. You know, at 10 a.m., it's between the hours of basically 10 a.m. and my cutoff time. I like to relax in the evening. I don't like to really talk about work after 7:30, 8 o'clock. If it can be wait till tomorrow after 8 o'clock, don't talk to me.
So 10 to 8.
Work.
10 to 8, we can talk about these things. Before and after, no, there's no talking about it. This just not unless
just relax, just have fun.
Just
you know,
it'll be there tomorrow.
It'll be there.
It'll be there. It's not going anywhere. Yeah. And you know, that's a big rule is just timing of the communication. It's like now, if it's time sensitive and I need to, we need to talk. There's always exceptions to the rule, but just being able to understand each other, and when we communicate the best, you know, I don't communicate well after 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. I'm done. She doesn't communicate well before 9 o'clock in the morning. You know, yeah,
exactly.
You know,
the second thing is supporting each other's individual needs. You know, Jake's amazing. He's amazing at what he does here, and I support that. And then he supports what I do. It's together, but it's also individual, and that's important. And I think that outside of here too, we support each other's activities, but we always do things together. We make sure we keep it important. You can do this and you do that, but we're coming back together. We plan always a date once a month, no matter what, minimum. 1 date a month, minimum. Luckily, a lot of times it's more. And then a getaway, a 2 to 3 night getaway, every 6 months, minimum.
Yeah,
minimum.
absolutely.
It has to be. Hopefully more.
Taking notes over there?
Yeah. And then the last thing was to make a point to have always the rule is we're first, we're number one. Yeah. Our marriage is the first thing always.
Is the most important. Absolutely.
And everything else flows from that rule. So
pretty amazing.
Thank you so much.
Pretty amazing story. Thank you for telling it.
Thank you for having me.
And happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
happy Valentine's Day.
Jake, we need to talk after this is over with. But sure. Manchester Firearm Line, address?
2540 Brown Avenue. So we're literally 1 mile from the Manchester-Boston Regional Airport. Okay. Right on the same road.
Web address?
www.gunsnh.com.
And are you on social media, Facebook?
We are on Facebook and on Instagram.
Awesome. So everybody, you can find them there. I highly suggest coming in and checking out everything they have to offer, the laser engraving, the Cerakoting, the
Daddy
selection
daycare
of weaponry in this place for sale and accessories is mind-blowing. I've never been in one place that has this much quality equipment in my life. So amazing job you guys have done here. You're an amazing team. It's impressive. I strive for that. I'm looking back at Kendall, and we'll do this again soon.
Cool.
So,
excellent.
Thank you for your time today.
Excellent.
As always, New England Alive is brought to you by the Outlaw Brewing Company of Winchester, New Hampshire. If you hadn't have a chance to stop in Winchester and try Rick Horton and his team's beer, I suggest you totally do. And that's another episode of New England Alive. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you soon.